As 2016 is coming to an end, I'm going to tell you my 5 best, most successful baits for me in 2016. I'm going to go over why I think they should be in your box moving forward for 2017 and give you guys some tips on how to use these baits so you can be successful with them on the water as well. Now, once again, doing this video in front of my awesome Husker. It's kind of in its infancy, but it's a decent start at a Husker wall. Of course, the national championship posters. Old Herbie Husker. Look at that. There's some field turf from 1970 to 76 when Nebraska won 2 national championships. You know, if you're an Iowa fan, you're not sure what a national championship is. It's when you win the last game of the season, and it's not just the Pinstripe Bowl. Alright, so I'm a little bit biased, so to start this thing off, I'm going to go with 2 topwater baits. First one is a Spro Poppin' Frog. You know, any type of Poppin' Frog that I've used has been decent. This one to me is the best because the action it makes in the water and the sound I feel like is just right. You know, I caught a ton of fish on this in 2016, and I've caught fish on this since it was released 5 or 6 years ago. And to me, the great thing about this bait is its versatility. You know, when this came out, a lot of guys thought, oh, it's just an alternative to a regular frog for when it's a little bit windy and it's a little bit more sparse cover. And while that's very true, this bait is awesome because it draws fish in flat out from a further distance than a regular frog does. Right out of the box, you can walk this bait extremely well. And my favorite time to use this bait all year is in the heat of the summer. You know, I like it in the pre-spawn period, I like it in the fall period, post-spawn's good, but in the heat of the summer when those fish get up super shallow, I will get my boat as far back into a creek, up under an overhanging tree, up into a flooded bush, something like that, and I'll work this bait super methodically. You know, a lot of guys don't think of a topwater bait when the bite's super finicky, but to me, this is one of the best baits. I know I can go up shallow and it just draws fish to eat it even when they're in a negative feeding mood. So to me, that's definitely one of my top 5. I caught hundreds of fish on this thing this last year. And honestly, I used it almost every tournament when I got a check, and I almost won a really big one on it this summer as well. It's just an awesome all-around bait. Alright, bait number 2 in my second topwater bait in my top 5, the super high secret Whopper Plopper. Now, I'm just kidding. Everybody knows about this bait by now, but I honestly didn't really start using this bait until mid-2016, late summertime, all the way through the fall, and I was blown away by its effectiveness. You know, I think when this came out, obviously it's been out for a long time, but it really got popular about 2 falls ago. But I thought, personally, I know I talked to a lot of other guys that thought this bait was only a fall clear water lake deal when the fish started following the shad back on their fall movements and steeper rocky banks like Table Rock. You know, you saw James Watson win a big tournament there. Everyone throwing it at Lake of the Ozarks, of course. But the more I expanded on this thing is a flat out killer. Anywhere that there's a topwater bite, anytime bass are up shallow at all, this bait will draw fish from distances I've never seen before, and it makes it a super efficient bait for finding active fish. You know, when the fish are super finicky and they're in a negative feeding mood, this one's not always going to be the best choice. But for me, I absolutely love throwing the bait, and I have a hard time putting it down. And don't be afraid to throw this bait out a little bit deeper when you got cleaner water or when you got smallmouth or spotted bass. I've seen smallmouth come up out of 10-15 feet in cleaner water to come up and get this bait, and they'll blow it out of the water. No, one advantage this has over a frog, you'll get more fish to the boat that bite this bait. My hookup ratio on this is probably close to 90 to 95%. Just an awesome bait. I think we're only scratching the surface on this one of its capabilities. Bait number 3 for 2016 for me, the 6 Sense Crush Flat 75. You know, this is a flat-sided crankbait, but it fishes like a square bill. It's 5/8 of an ounce, so you can cast it a long distance. You know, this bait has a super tight wobble and a nice subtle knock to it. Honestly, I caught so many fish on this thing in 2016. I started off the season with a tournament win on this deal in super cold 40-some degree water. When the fish are on riprap, You cannot beat this bait. This is the best rip wrap crankbait on the market. I'm 100% positive in saying that. You know, I throw this bait in craw colors in the early spring and in the late fall when the water's cold. I'll throw this thing in the summer in shad colors when it's a super tough bite and they're around that rip wrap. This bait is an absolute killer. I promise you, if you pick one of these up or pick up a couple different colors of them, you're going to catch more fish, especially when the bite is super tough, when that cold water and there's any fish around rock cover. This is what you want to be throwing. I actually used this bait in this video right here. I'm going to put a link in there. I used it to win the April 2016 Uploaded Fishing Challenge, which got me $1,000 worth of 6 Sense Lures products. Check out Uploaded Fishing, guys, also. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, an awesome opportunity. They actually gave away a Triton for the best video of the year, but go to uploadedfishing.com to check them out as well. All right, bait number 4 for 2016, the Missile Baits D-Bomb. This is the regular size D-Bomb, and honestly, I'm a huge fan of the regular Reaction Innovations Beaver, and so I was kind of reluctant to try these, even though they've had so much success in the tournament trail the last few years since they were released. But I thought, you know, 2016, I thought I'd try something different, see if I could find something a little bit more durable. And this is one of my favorite things about them right here as well. They come in these 25 packs, which is a great deal. You can get them for about 50 cents a piece, which is absolutely killer. I flat out outfished my regular size beaver several times with these. And I think a lot of it's due to the profile. You know, it's got a little bit bigger claws on it than a beaver, and those have a little bit more movement, and so when the water's a little bit muddier, you still have that nice gliding action, but the tails kick just a little bit as well. It's just a nice subtle bait. The arms kick real slowly when you move your rod tip or pump it a little bit, like a crawdad would or something. But like I said, awesome bait. I use it for flipping shallow docks, flipping shallow grass, bushes, anything like that. Again, I just started throwing this bait in 2016. This will definitely be in my arsenal moving forward. Just a killer bait for flipping. And last but not least, number 5, the old handmade football jig. I know you guys are shocked by that. If you've been watching the last few weeks, you can check out the video here of me making this jig, or you can check out over here if you want to see me just smashing a bunch of big fish on a jig. This thing's a killer. I caught fish on this bait from when the water was 40 degrees in the spring, and obviously all the way back up until it was in the mid 30s to upper 30s this fall. I'll pull this thing around any type of deep cover and structure, but deep structure is where you want to be throwing this thing. Deep rock piles, drop-offs, points, stuff like that. And if you come around to any type of brush pile or lay down or anything like that, I put a good enough weed guard in there that I can throw it through there, and most of the time I can pull it through as well. My trailer of choice, when the water's warm in the summer, I love this NetBait Pack-A-Craw. It's the baby Pack-A-Craw. I like the nice long profile and the nice kicking action of it. When the water gets really cold, I like to put a Strike King Rage Craw trailer on there. I'll chop it way down so it has a nice wide, short, compact profile. You know, I talked a lot about that in my previous videos. Again, just a killer. I caught hundreds of fish on this bait this last year, and I know I'm going to catch thousands and thousands moving forward with this guy right here. It's going to be an integral part of my bass fishing arsenal. Well, that's it, guys. Those are the 5 baits I had the most success with in 2016, whether it was fun fishing or tournament fishing, bank fishing, boat fishing, whatever. That's them. Hit me up with a comment in the video. Let me know what your most successful bait was in 2016. Maybe even let me know what you have planned that you'd like to try out in 2017. As always, please subscribe. Subscribe to this. We get this thing over 300 subscribers, which we're almost there. Get my Instagram @MillikenFishing up to 1,500 followers. We're very close to that as well. We're going to give away some cool products. Maybe I'll even give away some of these jigs that I've made here recently. You can catch some fish on them too. Subscribe. Tell your girlfriend, tell your mom, your sister, best friend, fishing partner, 5-year-old cousin. I don't care. If you subscribe, it shows me you care about what I'm doing, you like the content, and of course, as always, let me know what content you want to see moving forward. Very exciting for this weekend. We're going to Lake of the Ozarks. We heard the bite's hot, so me and Joe are going to hit that up, see if we can catch some in the rain. Heard the crankbait, jerkbait, Alabama rig bites on fire. We're going to crush some big ones. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Leave me any feedback on what you want to see moving forward. Peace!